Hey, you guys, how are you? You having a good day? I'm having an excellent day. How is everyone? Hello, JJ. Hi, Crystal. Hello, Rocco. I can see you, Rocco, till you go have dinner. Hi, Andy. Hello, Shar. How are you guys? I am doing well. I had to go grab some tea. That's important. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that piece. How are you today, Crystal? I hope you're doing well. Once again, Crystal mods for me, even on my tiny little channel, which I greatly appreciate. So thank you to Crystal for doing that. I am having a pretty good day. Put this over here. A little bit less organized this morning than I should be. So just give me 2 seconds here. Hi, Adrenaline. I like that name. Hello to you. Rocco started cooking biscuits again. Today, biscuits filled with pistachio. That sounds really good, Rocco. Oh, good. I'll see it by the end of the day. Yay. That makes me happy. I always am interested to see your art. Yesterday was my birthday, which I'm telling you only because, I don't know, because I want to tell you that I'm 59 now. I figure except for the neck, I'm doing okay at 59, except for my neck, but you know, such is life. But it was a good day. Thank you. That's jazz hands. Yeah, now that I said that, it's going to look like I was soliciting happy birthday greetings, which I really wasn't, but I thank you for that anyway. Oh, well, I didn't think that through. But yeah, it was a very low-key day, but it was good. Alrighty, so I have played a few more hours of Plague Tale. It won't be a super long stream today, like an hour and a half maybe. I think that's about how long this is. I got it last night, Crystal. Or actually, I take it back, Crystal. I got it first thing this morning. I went to bed around 10:30 last night or whatever. And because, you know, I'm old now and I get tired. But I saw it first thing this morning. I did get to game all weekend. That's true. I did get to game all weekend. I got a couple people that I like to spend time with and I gamed with them. That was fun. And my dog attacked a guy. That was interesting. And yeah, I had the whole weekend to myself. I ate Chinese food and read and gamed. That to me is a perfect weekend. I was alone the entire weekend. It sounds sad, but I enjoyed it. You know, Andy, everybody said the same thing. Everybody said, and he has done literally nothing since then. He's been like an angel since then. So I don't know. I tend to trust the dog. It was eventful, that's for sure. It was eventful. All right, let's see. Oh, I got to take my earrings off because headphones with earrings is not a nice thing. All righty. Yes, his messages to me afterwards were weird and annoying. He messaged me 3 times afterwards. The last time being about 10 o'clock that night, and then he gave up. So I figured if he persisted, I was just going to report him to Uber Eats, which is who he worked for. So anyway, it was interesting. I suppose I should be flattered, an old lady like me. But I think he just saw an easy mark is what he thought he saw. Okay, let's watch A Plague Tale Part 2. See how I did. All right, you guys have to let me know how the balance is, because I can't tell because I have my own balance in my ear, so. Let me know. I thought this church was super interesting. It's The game is a bit too loud.
Could be our way out.
Okay, let me know if that's better.
Whoa. Why are there candles?
The candles
How's
are
that balance,
to
Crystal?
show
Better?
that you're thinking of someone.
Oh,
You know,
Can
Andy,
I
the
light one?
soundtrack is
If
really
you
good.
want
I
to.
love the way they use
Don't burn
classical
yourself.
instruments,
Thank
but they
you.
use them sometimes in such discordant ways. You can't see the game yet? God damn it. I'm so enamored with my own face. I forgot to change the screen. Let me back up a little bit. Derp. Thank you for telling me. I could see it. What was the problem? Okay, better? Hold on. I'll fix the camera. There. Better?
Could be our way out.
You just look at me the whole time and I'll talk about the game.
whoa. Why are there candles?
The candles are
Perfect. Now, if I need to
show that
move my
you're
face
thinking
camera,
of
I will.
someone.
Oh, can I light one?
If you want to. Don't burn yourself.
Thank you.
Hugo's head. Sometimes the animation, his head goes back so far, he's like a Pez dispenser. But I thought this church was really interesting. I think it's
For Mommy
super
and
accurate
Daddy.
looking.
Watch over them.
And they don't get too much into the religion, which is fine because it would bother people, I think, to some people. I thought the windows in this church are interesting too. You'll see, I specifically looked at the windows several times because I was trying to see whether they used sort of historically accurate stained glass to depict messages, but they really, I mean, they're not, but they're interesting. I thought so too, Crystal.
It's
This
funny.
game is very
The
well done.
sound here.
There's an echo.
Hello!
Hugo,
Hello.
there might be people here.
Oh,
This poor boy, he's like, what, 4 or 5, maybe? This poor kid. I mean, she's only, how old is she? I forget how we decide how old she is. 13, 14?
A barricade.
well, why have they done that?
To stop someone from getting in or out.
The premise, though, of using 2 children,
Oh,
I thought was
a
super
necklace.
interesting and
It's a
effective.
rosary.
What's
Hello,
it for?
JJ.
Praying.
Thank you.
Can I use it to talk to Mommy and Daddy?
The longest
We'll do it
year of a
together.
woman's life were the 10 years from 49 to 50. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling a friend last night that I was probably going to, I'm 59. So I was telling a friend last night that I was going to hold at 59 for a few years, but I've never lied
Forgive
about my
me
age.
for
I'm not sure that I'm going to
the
start
evil
at this
I have
point.
just committed.
I don't see the point in
I
it.
never.
Amicia,
Hello, Totes. How are you?
you're really squeezing me.
Sorry.
Please let me know if you can hear me drinking, because that would be gross. It's very foggy and overcast out today, which is my absolutely perfect kind of weather. I love it. So I know Crystal has played this game, and I think Andy has played this game. I'm not sure who else here has. I don't remember, although I probably asked this question last week.
Climb up.
I hope it doesn't break like the other one.
It won't, Hugo. Trust me.
Amicia, there's someone there.
Children, what are you doing here?
Crabby old brother.
We need help.
Leave.
Of course, I'd be crabby too. Times are pretty
You
bad.
have no business being here.
Wait, please. It's important. We
This
should go
seems
and talk
right
to
up your
him.
alley, Andy. I thought maybe I could jump on the roof right there, but no. The path is definitely pretty linear, but that's all right. The game wants you to see everything.
Is he the one who knows where Laurentius is?
It has to be him. It has to.
Hope you're having a good evening, Totes. I started to say
they've
lunch,
broken
but I
everything.
don't. It's not
What's
lunchtime
going on
there.
here?
Perhaps they're building bigger beds?
I don't think that's it.
They must be breaking up the beds to make as much fire as possible. I find, in general, I know this is a game, but not necessarily a history lesson. But I find the Middle Ages, in particular, it's an interesting, if depressing, time in history.
I know that smell.
One thing that always strikes me in these games is
Medicinal
how
herbs.
little privacy
The monks
these
must
people
have put them in the water to purify
My
themselves.
God.
Mother
I would
used
have
to
a
do
hard
the
time
same.
I mean, I guess it would be the social norm back then, so you'd have no privacy and you would be accustomed to having no privacy. But boy, what an adjustment for us modern people. Well, I guess that's why they call it the Dark Ages. And then what comes right after the Dark Ages? Is it the Elizabethan? No, the Elizabethan is the 14th century. Elizabeth is
Flowers.
queen from
They're so pretty.
the mid-14s to the early 1500s. So this is the 1300s. Okay. So is the what's
They're
the period right after
carnations.
the Dark Ages?
We
Or
had some in my
does the Dark
herbarium.
Ages usher in
But
the
those ones are
Elizabethan
prettier.
age?
Hugo,
Hi,
we have to
Mystic.
keep
How are
moving.
you?
Wait, come here.
What?
It will protect you.
Yes.
And
the
it's
historic.
pretty too.
Yep, I agree.
All right.
Now we can go.
Thank you, Hugo.
You're welcome.
I'm a little bit of a history buff, a little bit. I know more about the Elizabethan age because I have a thing about Elizabeth I, and I know a little more about American history. But this is very interesting. And at this point in the game, so far, I can't use very many of these materials. So I'm still, at this point, I'm still trying to figure out if I've missed something that I can't use a lot of these materials. But I'm figuring at some point I'll be able to use more and more of them. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you had a cold. Oh, to the Renaissance. Okay, thank you, Shar. The Renaissance. I didn't think that could be true because the Elizabethan age would come with the advent of Elizabeth I, and that's
Father.
200 years later.
You again. I
No,
told you to
again.
Just a
leave.
moment. Just a...
You have no idea. Leave while you still can.
Please.
They do,
Someone has
Crystal.
to help
People
us.
always look wet
Do
and
it for
dirty.
him at least.
This should be in 1080p. I do see a little bit of pixelating, a slight bit, so hopefully that's YouTube.
Robert de Rune, coat of arms.
We are his children. We are looking for Laurentius, the doctor. Do you know him?
Yes,
It
I
did
know
surprise
him.
me a little bit that an
I know
Inquisition,
he
although I
used to look
realized
after
they were
your family.
extremely powerful, being an arm of the church,
spoke of you.
I was a little bit surprised they could
am
kill
Father Thomas.
the Lord of a manor in the
presence
manner
here
that
is
they did in this game.
not a
I would have
good
thought that
sign.
he would have a little more
The
power.
Inquisition. They came
I mean, there'd be a
and
little
they-
bit more fear to just cut him down the way they did, but what do I know?
I can imagine. But what is happening here is far worse.
Some call the end of the
You
Dark
must
Age around
leave
1000
immediately, or you will die.
Father,
AD.
the villagers
or
wanted to
CE,
kill us.
I guess they say nowadays,
Oh,
but some
they're mad.
consider it the
They're
Victorian
mad.
Middle Age period as well, so it depends.
Oh, Laurentius. No, I cannot leave the church, but an exit.
There he is with his tonsure. Did you know that?
Through
That's
the
what haircut
crypt
is
of the
called,
Three
a
Saints.
tonsure.
It may not be too late. I shall try to put you on the path to Laurentius's farm, but after that, may God watch over
I
you.
almost think if I had been alive back then, if I had not had any
All
money,
seems calm
maybe even
for
if
the
I'd had
moment.
money, I probably would have gone into a convent, which is not the way I'd want to live my life, particularly because I like marriage and, well, I like some of the benefits with it. But I wouldn't want to have childbirth
Sure
back then, let's put
to
it that way.
stay
So
in the light.
Father,
I probably would
are
avoid
there
anything that
crosses on
might
the
lead to a
village doors?
possible encounter with childbirth
really
back
the
in those
plague?
days.
It started with bites during the night.
Knowing what I know
the
now
sickness
about that
spread.
time period, let's put it that way.
First in families, then to everyone. Fever, boils. People started dying. And when we finally found out where it came from, it was already too late.
and where did it come from?
We're nearly there.
Yeah, he didn't answer the question. So, early on in the game, of course, and I still am at a point in the game now that I have no clue what is happening or why. I mean, it's obviously not just a plague, it's magical. Well, I do agree that women were chattel, and I definitely agree that women had no legal... Well, women could own property then, and women could inherit under certain circumstances. But yeah, you definitely would want to have been if anything, if you had to be a woman back then, you definitely want to have been a wealthy woman. A wealthy woman would definitely have more power than otherwise, that's for sure. But you know, a poor man would have zero rights either, I would think. I mean, serfs are basically the chattel of the lord for whom they work, right? But childbirth would be terrifying. I just watched last night. I just watched the first couple episodes of the new Game of Thrones spin-off, The House of Dragons, because I'm an avid fan of the George R.R. Martin. And they had a childbirth scene in that show where they had to make a decision between the child and the mother, and they chose the child because, for a variety of reasons anyway. But that was not a nice scene, and it just brought right back home to me why I would not want to have a child back then.
Brother Morel.
Brother Mushroom. Why does he walk off without a torch? Why? If you know fire is the thing, why would you walk off into the dark? I don't get it.
What is the matter? Father?
This is bad.
No.
No!
Well, you know what? I probably shouldn't have been this on stream, but I am on my daughter's plan. I share my Netflix with her on the family plan, which I pay for, and she shares her HBO Max with me. So we have kind of a family agreement. Because I will not pay for all that crap. There's no way. I'm not a big TV person, so I'm pretty selective about what I'll watch on television. Specific programs I've seen, but most sitcoms, most like normal cable television I've never seen because I've never been into television.
How can there be so many of them?
Ooh, it froze there for a second. This is so disgusting. This plays on every fear that you have with the rats.
They're everywhere!
The light!
The little eyes.
They're scared of the light!
Oh, it's horrible, horrible. I mean, look, they're like water. It's like water flowing. And why? Well, whatever. It's clearly some kind of magical evil happening.
It's a nightmare!
We have to get back outside, Amicia!
I know! Keep moving!
But they have to go down, down in order to get outside. I know, Toads. The rats are gross. They're really gross.
A monk. The other brother.
Ah, look, they ate off the whole lower half of his body. Ugh.
We're going to have to climb up. I'll have to put the torch down.
No, please!
Calm down.
It's going to be
There's a
even
torch
worse,
holder.
Toads,
We'll
because
still
I'm
have
going to
light.
play,
But then
I think,
what?
Mortuary
We'll find
System starting for
something.
here pretty quick, because it's October, in which we get to do,
Come on, I'll
my
help
mind
you.
just went blank. Not autopsies, but basically, maybe they are autopsies. But we're not the doctors, so I think we're just prepping bodies. That should be nice and gross.
I don't understand why there are so many of them.
Yeah, I understand why there's so many of them
We need
either.
some fire.
I'm not grossed out by rats,
We have
but of
to
course
hurry.
this many rats, yes, highly disgusting. But yeah, my kids used to have rats, 2 rats as pets. I ended up giving them to my daughter's kindergarten teacher to have in her classroom
down,
because
Hugo. The
my
light
daughter
will
was
protect us,
interested in
all right?
them for about
All
2
right.
months, and then she lost interest in taking care of them. So they were cute. I've heard they're actually cleaner than people give them credit for, but
So that's their plague. Rats. The priest spoke of a way out, through the crypt.
Well, any rat could be a pet, Crystal, if you catch it.
Amicia, the 3 statues.
The crypt of the 3 saints. It's the exit the father spoke of. We
I
have
used to
to
put
find
bird
another
feeders
way.
outside my house when we first moved here because we lived down by the water. There are a lot of rats down by the water, and I did that until we purchased home cameras. And the home cameras kept capturing the rats coming to eat out of the bird feeders at night, and there were dozens of them. I'd see them walking along the trim pieces on my house. Oh my God. They kept setting off our cameras at night. Yeah, it was revolting. So bye-bye went the bird feeders. At least there's none by the house now, let's put it that way. There's 1 or 2 out in the yard, I think, over by the fence.
I'll give you a hand.
The game gets a lot easier once you get used to the, once you
there,
begin to
Amicia.
remember like this,
I
the
should
little
be able to
flag on
knock
there.
it
Once you
down.
get used to the mechanics and you remember, it is pretty narratively
They've eaten them all.
driven.
Try not to look. We can't do anything for them now.
It's
No.
horrible.
I know. Come on.
Have a fantastic dinner, Rocco. Enjoy your biscuits. Did you guys read that article? Well, you probably didn't. I read an article yesterday that said that there are animal shelters that are getting overrun with guinea pigs because people do, because they're stupid, people in droves adopted guinea pigs during the pandemic because they're cute and, they're stuck at home, yada, yada,
You
yada.
go first.
But guinea
Yes.
pigs actually are not super social. They don't like to be touched and held necessarily. And as soon as people went back to work, their kids lost interest in their guinea pigs and stuff. And so they basically just dumped them at shelters. And so the shelters are getting overrun with things like guinea pigs. I think there's a special place in hell for people who, a really special place in hell for people who abuse animals. But people who are
Right.
super
We'll pass at the same
irresponsible about
time.
stuff like that, you adopt an animal, you've made a commitment to that animal. And if you give it up just because it becomes no longer convenient, I don't have a ton of respect for that.
I'll go first.
All right.
Hello, Elizabeth. Let me turn down the game audio ever so slightly. Okay, let me know if that's any better.
They're making too much noise. Too much noise.
Hugo, calm down.
Okay, let me know if that's better. You're welcome, and welcome, Elizabeth. Okay, this is where I got a little confused, I will say, because I've collected all these things, and I really couldn't make anything. I might have been able to make a stronger string for my... Yeah, not enough... But it must just parcel out to you what you can make, and I'm just not far enough in the game right here to have that ability yet. That's my assumption. People are doing the same thing with dogs. People adopted in droves during the pandemic and then surrendered them once they went back. It's horrible. I don't know how you can do that either. I mean, this dog that I rescued, 5 months ago now? He's a lovely dog. He's the most affectionate dog I've ever had, but he does have challenges.
This should
You've had
make
to
things a
spend
little
hundreds of
easier.
dollars so far in training. And he requires a lot of attention because he's got the amount of energy of a toddler and the brain of a toddler pretty much as well. So he requires a lot of stimulation. But that's the commitment we made, right? At the moment, he's eating a yogurt and kibble-filled Kong. So he's fairly happy at the moment. But I love him. And I think I'm home alone a lot, and he's protective of me when I'm home alone. He always lets me know if someone comes on the property. Which I like. Now I did very lightly edit this because there were a couple places where I either got up and left the room to go get tea or whatever, and nobody wants to see a video with me standing here, Amicia standing here for 5 minutes straight, and then in other places where, well, that's generally what I edited, but I also edited in other places where I might have repeated the same action 14 times in a row because I'm dumb, and it took me a long time to figure out the mechanic. But for the most part, it's a straight-up playthrough. Luke is a good boy. He's a good boy. He loves me. He loves me and he's protective of me, and what else can you ask for in a dog? I mean, ultimately. And I figure if Luke gets squirrely or overly aggressive or gets into trouble chewing things or whatever, that's my fault because I haven't given him enough stimulation. Yeah, you mentioned that before, Crystal. How is that? Has that settled down a little bit? I have found that Luke really kind of hit a well, except for the guy that he chased off the property last Saturday, which was amazing and unusual.
No
He
rats.
has settled in. He's suspicious of strangers, but if I introduce him properly,
I don't
then
see
once
any
he's met
torches.
somebody,
How can
he
we-
knows them and he's
what
fine
are we
with
going
them.
to do?
But for me, it was the 3 or 4 month mark, really.
That seems to keep them busy.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Another ham should be enough.
Your dog is so cute, though, Totes. She shouldn't have to work. She's so cute.
Come on.
I would say that I'd love it if Luke could clean up after himself. However, I will say I'm actually super lucky. I walk him 4 times a day just because I need to walk off some energy. And he's pretty good about pooping on the
Mama,
walks.
the three
So that
saints.
makes it easy. The 3 saints! I thought maybe I could read that paperwork, but you cannot. Boy, this church has really been through the ringer.
All right.
I was going to quiz you guys again today, but all the questions in the quiz I wasn't sure about. And I thought you might find it boring. Oh, look. You want to know something funny?
Will we
It's really
safe if we
funny
go
when
that
you're
way?
playing the game how few things you notice. But
Don't fall. Don't fall.
watching
We won't
this
fall.
now without
Hold
the
my hand
focus on
tight.
playing it myself in this moment, there's all these little glowy things in the background that I've walked right by and didn't even see. It's true, Toads. He's awesome about peeing and pooping on walks, and I'm like, that's easy to clean up. It's fine. No, I bet she could read, Char, because she's the daughter of a nobleman. And her
That
mother
torch.
was
There's
educated.
a hole in the grating.
I'll lift this up. Can
But
you get
generally
the torch?
speaking, I would
Yes.
agree with you. I would think even wealthy girls back then couldn't read because there'd be no purpose for it.
It's heavy.
Except for maybe...
Hugo, hurry
no,
up.
I started
Come
to say
on.
except for maybe the Bible, but I think even back then, women, you didn't read the Bible. The Bible was to be interpreted to you by the clergy.
Are you alright?
Yes. Stay where
It's
you
how
are.
the church
ground is
maintained
rotten.
power over people, I think.
Amicia,
Not allowing them to read the Bible directly.
How am I going to get back?
We'll find
Or
a
in
way.
English,
Don't
had to be
worry.
read in
As
Latin.
long as you
That
have
was
the
true for a
torch, you'll
long
be
time. There were
safe.
people put to
But
death
what
because
about
they
you?
translated the Bible
We'll
into English and allowed
move
people to read
together.
it in English. It was to be
That's
read
way the light
only
coming
in
through the
Latin,
grating
which
will
basically
protect me
restricted
too.
it to a
Ready?
very select few who could read it to
Here
you.
we go then. Slowly.
Oh, hi Bradley. How are you? Since
Very
it's
good.
horror month, what's my favorite horror film? I don't really have one, to be honest, because I'm not a big... I don't like...
Look,
I like
there's a hole.
psychological horrors, let's
Do you
put it
want
that
the
way. I don't
torch?
care for
Yes,
like super
there
just
are too many
like
rats on
gory
my
for
side.
gory's sake.
But where can I get through?
The hole
In
behind
order to get
you.
the crafting done, you have
That's
to make
the
sure you
only
look
way I
around
can
a lot. It's a
see.
pretty linear game. Be
Go
sure to
through
look around
there and I'll
different
meet
kinds.
you on
I
the other
kind of
side.
figured that
Are
out
you
over
sure?
time, but
Just
in looking
stop
at
if
this,
you
I
see
can
rats.
see things
I'll
that
be
I
with you
passed.
very quickly.
I can see
All
things
right,
going in the
but
background
please
that I walked
hurry.
right by. But I did start, when I couldn't craft anything at that last table we were just at in here, I began to like really look for materials because why can't I craft anything yet? I have not tried playing it in French. That's a great idea, although it would frustrate me to play it in French because I like, language is important to me and I like being able to understand what they're saying to each other. And I actually took 4.5 years of French and I'm still shitty at French. So apparently I do not have an aptitude. My son does, but I do not have an aptitude for languages.
Quick now.
Ah!
Hugo! What's going on?
Oh, I
Hugo,
hated this part.
Talk to me! Come on! Come on!
I think it's one of the Friday the 13th series movies. It's the last time I ever saw a horror movie in a theater. And I think that was probably, I was less than 20 years old, so that's how long ago that was. But I was in one of those movies. I don't really know which one. I was in the theater with some friends.
Hugo,
And there's some scene where somebody gets stabbed in the eye with one of those heart needles, the needles that are like this long, like right into the eye.
I'll open a way through
I've
for you.
never forgotten
We're
that
going to get you
scene.
down
I
from
got
there.
up, I walked out of the theater, and I waited in the lobby
Calm down,
for the rest of the movie.
You're
And I've never gone to the
Stay
theater to see
focused.
another horror movie. I do like psychological horror. I like brain scares more than watching somebody get, a giant hypodermic needle through their eye. Which is why it makes it somewhat amazing that I loved the Game of Thrones series, although I couldn't watch every scene in that series. There are a couple scenes in particular I could think of that I fast-forwarded through because I couldn't do it. If a body's already, this is dumb and you're going to think I'm weird, but like if I'm watching a show or about murders or whatever and they show like actual crime photos or whatever and the body's already dead, I don't care how messed up the body is, I don't care how decomposed, how puffy, covered with maggots, I don't care. They're already dead, they can't feel anything. But if you're seeing somebody get injured and the person's still alive, I cannot take it. Because I can't stand the idea of somebody being in that kind of pain. I loved Silence of the Lambs, actually, yes.
I won't be able
I
to
did
keep
love
them
that
back
movie.
long enough.
Yes. I ate his liver with some fava beans and an iced Chianti. Isn't that the line? I used to like the gory movies, but now I prefer the suspense. It's like, yeah. But yeah, Silence of the Lambs was great. Do you still hear the lambs, Clarice? Are the lambs still screaming, Clarice? The Haunting. I haven't seen that. I also love sci-fi movies, which I did not as a kid, but I like them now. So I have to play catch-up now with all the sci-fi stuff I never watched before.
Hugo, I have to get him down here.
Yeah, clearly it won't let me go this way. This took me... You're going to see how my brain works, too, I'm sorry to say. Because there are several places where I went back like a rat. I went back to the same place 3 times, thinking it might work if I go back again this time, instead of just trying to figure out the mechanic. You might be right, Totes. It might just be that I'm getting older. But a brain scare is way more interesting to me than just something that's gory. I'm going to play some more of this game later today, though. I think it's really, really interesting. And then I have to decide what I'm going to do for Thursday. Today's Tuesday, yeah. I have to decide what I'm going to do for Thursday. So gross! I let my matchstick go out. Okay, Amicia, don't let your fire go out. Really, Toads? I do love roller coasters. I love roller coasters. The only kind of coasters I won't go on is like the little carnivals that come through town, the ones that can be assembled and disassembled quickly. When I get a look at the carnies who put those things together, I'm not putting my life in their hands. I don't trust them. They all look like they're strung out on stuff. I just won't do it. Sorry. But here I am. Let's go back over here again, see if I can get out this door, even though it already said no. But I love roller coasters.
Hugo, I have to get him down
I like
here.
roller coasters, and I like being, this is going to sound stupid, but I like really fast cars. I find it very exhilarating, let's say, to be, if I trust somebody and I know they're a really competent driver, I love going really fast in cars. I don't get to do that very often, but that probably sounds lame too, but I love it. Like on a windy road, I love that. But I have a problem with heights, so anything that involves like, jumping out of something or like whatever, I'd have trouble with that maybe, but yeah. God, I'm embarrassed. I spent so long in this room. Finally! Finally, I figured out there's a torch up there. I'll be honest with you, I debated cutting a lot of this out so that you wouldn't see how long I struggled to figure this out because it's pretty simple, but nah. You gotta own your dumbness sometimes. My brain might be slow, but it gets there eventually. Well, I get that. I've only been in one car accident, two actually, but in both of them it had nothing to do with speed. It was somebody hit me, and what had nothing to do with going fast. So, and like I said, it has to be a person I really trust. I wouldn't go fast with just anybody. There's no way, because people are idiots. I also love flying in small planes, and it's kind of on my bucket list to have a ride in a small plane with a very competent pilot who, what am I trying to say, like a stunt plane? I'd love to kind of do I think that would be super fun. And also, bucket list item, would love to go in a helicopter. I've never been in a helicopter. I'm not sure those things will ever happen, but they're on my list. Okay, Amicia, let's let Diana figure this out now.
These twigs burn too quickly. I won't be able to keep them back long enough.
Yes, I already. Okay, finally, I light that fire, and that prompts the next thing to happen.
Perfect.
No,
Thank
he
you.
wouldn't. That won't happen, Totes. He doesn't like heights, and he doesn't like. We have a cousin who's a pilot instructor, and he owns a small plane, and he's offered to do stuff like that with us. And he'll go up with just me, but my husband won't even go. So I'll do it some point.
Ready? You can come down
Because
now.
I think it would be fun to experience it with somebody, not just like randomly go by myself and pay for some kind of experience like that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have left you alone.
Just wait until I walk across the
That's
battlefield.
alright.
And actually, yeah, he's at work. Future gift ideas. He was just out of town over the weekend. He went down to, another state for his aunt's 90th birthday. And you know what he didn't go on this, but you know what they did for her 90th birthday? They took her up in a balloon because that's what she wanted to do, which is pretty cool. Yes, one of my kids would go. Maybe I'll get my son to take me. Actually, either my son or my daughter does rock climbing, the kind where, the rappelling kind of rock climbing. She's quite proficient at it, actually. So she's not afraid of heights at all, and my son isn't either. But yes, that's a great idea. One of my kids. They'd laugh their asses off. Because I would do it, but I'd be panicking. But I would do it. I would go, if I committed to it, I'd go through with it, but I'd be panicking. But yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, but he's a quality assurance engineer. He doesn't,
Thank you. We can get out of here now.
Yes.
I don't think he's
That
particularly
way.
scared of heights, but yeah, that is true, Char. Okay, can I craft anything at this point? I don't think he minds flying so much, but he doesn't love heights, that's for sure. She looks so cute with that flower, doesn't she?
Go ahead. I'm right behind you.
Of course.
And look, Amicia and Hugo are getting along better now, getting to know each other. I thought it was really interesting that how little exposure she's
What's
had
that
to her
on the
brother.
ground?
Should we go anyway?
Yes, we've managed to get this far.
This is so gross.
We'll be fine. Just stay close.
And like Andy said earlier, I love the use of the violins, both to set beautiful music and to set the sort of a discordant mood. Well, that might be a cello I'm actually hearing because I think it's a cello. It's quite low. might even be a bass. I think it's a cello, but it might be a bass too, actually.
What's that stuff on the walls?
I don't know.
Ugh. Yeah, that was a pretty rough edit right there. I walked out of the room, and she stood by that fire for about 8 minutes. I did not subject you to that.
Amicia, you mustn't touch the walls. Mustn't touch the walls.
It's burning my throat.
Oh, that! Can you imagine the smell of shit and decomposition down there?
Over there. Light. We're there, Hugo. Run, Hugo.
And I'm like, run! I hear noises. Run, run, run! We have a moment.
We did it.
A moment of
We
rest.
did it. We did it.
Amicia, I want to see Mommy.
Oh, I swear I feel sorry for these children.
I don't want her to be dead.
Should I make
Hugo.
my text box or my talking head box a little smaller so
I
I'm
want
not
her to
cutting into
come
the screen
back.
quite so much? Oh, I feel for these children.
Amicia, so we'll never be able to go back home?
Look how beautiful.
It's too dangerous.
Are there rats there too?
Maybe... I don't know, Hugo.
I'm scared. They'll find us when they get stuck.
They do, Crystal.
We'll be safe with Laurentius.
They do a
Come
very
on.
good job. I think it was a brilliant move to have the story told from the perspective of children like this, because I think
Up there.
anybody who's a
A windmill.
feeling adult would
Is
want
that
to feel
Laurentius's
protective.
farm?
It's particularly of Hugo,
I hope so.
but for both of them.
I've never seen a real windmill.
If we're
I mean,
careful,
Amicia is
we'll be seeing
facing
one
things
very
that a
soon.
girl her age should, nobody should face, but particularly a girl, a young woman or young child. It is, isn't it? Amazing
Amicia,
atmospheric
look,
work. It's really
It's
beautiful.
one of the men that attacked the house.
The Inquisition.
And he's missing everything
here.
from the waist down. I guess he's not going to need any pants anytime soon. He's going to join the No Pants Club.
How'd they do that? They're only fucking animals.
Do I look like a rat? How should I know?
Well, I say we'll never get rid of these nests using stupid lime.
Whatever happens, we have to get out of here before the sun goes down. They like the dark. So back to business.
Hello, Jambo. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I'm officially 1 year away from being a senior citizen. Thighs and legs are the juiciest meat. I guess you got a point. It's cheaper. Don't have to buy pants. How are you, Jambo? Are you having a good week? I hope you are. Thank you, Mystic. I should not have mentioned it was my birthday.
That's an odd sound.
I bought myself a 10 terabyte external hard drive for my PC. That's my birthday present to myself. Been pretty
nothing.
busy, but otherwise okay.
Nothing
Well,
here.
I'm glad to hear it's been okay, even though it's been busy. Busy's not a bad thing.
Amicia, look.
Oh, this sneaky
There's a
sneaks.
bridge that leads to the farm.
What a waste of time. The Grand Inquisitor should just tell us what he really wants from us.
Yeah, why does he want the boy? I hope the game does tell you in the end why he wants the boy. I understand the boy's got some kind of magical blood disease or something, but that's about all I understand so far. Yes, I'm going to move everything. I have a hard drive in my computer that's 1 terabyte, and then I've got 3 or 4. I have way too many storage units. 3 or 4 500 gigabyte SSDs. I'm going to kind of consolidate documents and whatnot onto the external. It's because it's got a recovery function as well. And then I'll just use the SSDs for gaming. Oh, the game does tell you that all over time. Good. I just figured it'd be easier to have documents and things I don't need to access quickly on one drive rather than kind of spread out among several, especially if in case one goes down.
That should do it. With that and the second barricade, no one will ever get through.
I'm going to the bridge.
Don't look.
The car will be back with the other barricades.
Ooh, that was close.
We are trapped. You'll have to go in and open the window for me.
But they'll see me.
I'll keep him busy. Trust me.
I know, some of them are stressful. There's a section upcoming after he gets through this, after she gets through this part. There's a section upcoming that I really had to think about it for a long time to try to figure out how to get through there.
Come on.
I'm going.
And then when you see the path and you get through, you're like, well, what? That was not hard. Why did it take me so long to see that? Hugo.
Nothing.
I do think that this
Now
is kind
it's
of
my
funny,
turn.
this mechanic with throwing rocks at buckets or pots or whatever, because these guards are just interminably stupid. What's that noise? Tink, what's that noise? Let me go look again. What's that noise?
What? Go see. This has to stop.
This has to stop. And I have a tendency to apply real world, mechanics to some of these things too. Like you couldn't,
Well done.
it would not be easy
Amicia,
to sneak
we
by
have to
that
get
guy
out
10
of
feet
here.
behind him like that. But of course in the game you can.
I won't be outsmarted again.
They're like the Skyrim city guard, that's true. I mean, you can walk right behind some of them in some scenes, and I would never think you could do that. I mean, the guy's got to have some spatial awareness. Yes, that's true, Crystal. They are stupid in games. I always give them credit for more brains than they have, and I always think the mechanics are going to be more tricky than they are. And I can be caught up for quite a long time trying to figure that stuff out. Longer than I would like to admit.
I did hear something over there.
I did hear something over there. I knew it. Like, how does that guy not see these kids? I mean, really?
No, they blocked off the farm.
Tell Lord Nicholas that the road is blocked. Any person or vehicle that wants to get through is to be stopped and searched.
And what are we looking for exactly?
A 5-year-old kid.
He's 5.
Hugo the Rune. Brown hair, blue eyes. He's
Are you
with
talking
his
about
sister.
me?
Lord Nicholas wants him alive.
Shh.
Usual.
Little Hugo.
The Purple Guard wanting them alive?
Very important, I was told. Lord
Oh, in
Nicholas has his
Skyrim,
orders
getting your
direct from the
stealth
Grand
line if you can
Inquisitor
sneak right in
himself.
front of them. I
So
know,
keep your eyes peeled.
it's a bit silly. There it is, the church in the Dark Ages, not doing much to endear themselves to the people, that's for sure. I don't know if you can hide in these bushes or not. I mean, if the game actually provides you any hiding benefit in these bushes, I decided after a couple minutes that they probably did not. I was nervous about these dudes standing on the bridge right there because, like, if you turn your head, you're going to see me. But of course, it's a game. They never turned their heads. But I was, yeah, see? How could they not see me?
There's a garden there.
Yes.
Although people can be amazingly dense, even in real life. Rocco, you're back. I hope you had a good dinner. And thank you for that, Rocco. right, dude, take your lantern and go away. And those guys, nope, they haven't turned their heads yet. I kept waiting for somebody to alarm that I was there from the bridge. Rocco beat you to it, Crystal. I thought this was funny. I never saw this guy until I was in front of him. And somehow he never saw me at all. I don't get it. I like literally stopped in front of him like, oh fuck, there's a guy right there. And then I backed up. And that old NPC never saw me. Imagine staying there and you see a pot fly through your line of sight and land like 20 feet away from you, and instead of looking around to see who threw it, you go to where the noise was. That mechanic always kind of makes me laugh. Another workbench.
So, it was a false alarm.
So, it was a false alarm.
This should make things a little easier.
Like, was that noise somebody hearing me? I don't know, because nothing ever came of that noise. Little by little by little, you can improve your sling and her little pouch and whatnot.
Amicia,
What?
what did I do? Why are they looking for me?
You didn't do
Poor little
anything.
Hugo.
They're the ones who did something.
I know, that's true,
If
Crystal.
they catch
would
us,
be.
will they hurt us?
They are not going to catch us, all right?
All right.
Nope, no, I wouldn't throw a coin in a stream like this. Excuse me. Hugo. He's just being a little boy here, but you're like, what's happening?
Hugo? Hugo? Where are you? Hugo, it's not funny.
And you can't yell, right? Because you don't know how far away anybody is at this point, so you can't call out for him very loudly.
Hugo,
Did I scare you?
the Inquisition is here, Hugo. Do you want them to take you away? Don't ever do that again.
All right.
This poor little boy. But isn't the game world beautiful? Are those apple trees, do you think?
They're here.
That's the saint. He'll save us. He's lonely and us too. We'll have to mock him. That's why we signed out.
I thought maybe I could go to the other end over here and get through the wall, but... Sorry, this is a lot of movement, but I kept thinking one of those guys was going to turn around. If you were to go back in any point in history, where would you go back to? If you had to go back with the knowledge that you have now, but you couldn't take anything with you, like, a modern gun or modern medicine or anything like that. I don't think I'd go very far back, even though there are people it would be very interesting to meet who are quite far back. I probably would go back to the industrial age. But again, I'd have to go back as a wealthy person. Like we all would. I do think it's a harder decision as a woman. 'Cause you definitely have less autonomy over your
Piggies.
life.
You should hide. It's dangerous.
I kept trying to figure out why Hugo was saying the pig was dangerous. I mean, it really underlines the fact that we live in the absolute best time in the history of the world, given, I mean, if you're looking at things like socioeconomic status, health, availability of health care, the availability of jobs, that kind of thing, legal rights, that kind of thing. Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur days. Well, that would be, what, the Renaissance type period? But again, you'd have to be wealthy, because otherwise, Mystic, you are, what? A peasant, slaving away with no health care, no days off, in somebody's field that you don't own. I hated this part. It took me a little while to get through here. I had to sit and think about this. But if you were a very wealthy woman in the days when, you know, the whole chivalry practice was in, then maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Although you're still going to get married off at 14. You're still going to be
Where was that noise coming from?
valued on your ability to produce male children. And I suppose some female children in order for alliance marriages. And can you imagine having to marry somebody who was 25 years older than you? You're maybe his second or third wife because he wants heirs, more heirs.
Come on. Hey, let me
You
hear.
are a 15-year-old girl and you're being married to a 48-year-old man. Now, I did edit this section a tiny little bit because I walked out of the room for a little while, but I don't remember where I edited it. I wonder how heavy that armor is. I've actually read some articles that say that the armor would be heavy, no doubt, but that well-made armor was obviously custom made, and that it really wasn't, it actually enabled a lot of movement. There's a really interesting documentary on Stirling Castle in Scotland. And a body that was found there called the Stirling Man, S-T-I-R-L-I-N-G, Stirling, the Stirling Man, and they did a forensic analysis on him to determine whether he was Scottish or English. It turned out he was English, but he was. They did a lot of body analysis on him, and he was clearly a knight, and this would have been during the chivalric period, and his body type. They did a recreation of what he would have looked like. I mean, not what he looked like so much, but what his body would have looked like. Super, super interesting. He would have been probably akin to what we might call an MMO fighter now. Very, very large up top, very large in the thighs, extremely strong thighs for sitting a horse, in battle, and very strong to wear the armor and carry everything you would have had to carry. But it's a really very beefy bones, much bigger than modern men's bones because they were so developed. Super interesting. It's really interesting. I should link it in the Discord. It was really, really interesting. The way his body would have developed because he was, he would have been being trained for it to be a knight from the time he was 11 or 12 or something. I thought it was really fascinating. It might be on Curiosity. I'll look it up because it's one of those forensic. The thrust of the program is kind of forensic anthropology, and they talk to several different specialists about it. It was really interesting. I'll see if I can find it later on. Put it on the Discord.
Better go see what it was.
But I love watching stuff like that. That was really interesting.
All right. When are they going to call us back to camp?
Nothing to
Shit,
report.
it's nearly dark.
The guy with his sword. Or his pike. I think it's a pike. Well, if you Google the Stirling Man, Stirling, like I said, Sterling man from Stirling Castle. There's a lot of online information about him, but I found it very, very interesting. It was pretty revealing, and analyzing his bones was pretty revealing about the diet that they had and that type of thing. It was predominantly, I think his diet was found to be predominantly fish, which is interesting because Stirling, I think, is an inland castle. But the English ate a lot of dried fish
No, they
when they
can't.
were on campaign.
Come on, I'll help you.
All right.
And I think that they determined that he died in his mid-30s, probably
What's happening?
from an infection, because he had marks on his skull and marks on his arms and thighs and stuff that would look like he had some pretty serious injuries that he had
Hugo,
recovered from.
We can't
And then I
stop.
think he was killed
Not here.
by I think he was
I
killed by
feel funny.
possibly
on.
by an infection
You'll be able to
resulting
rest
from
when we get
a
to
big
Lawrence's
injury. I don't
place.
remember.
My head. It hurts.
I don't know what to do, Hugo. What would Mommy do?
Give me medicine.
Mommy would
I
give
can
me
carry
medicine.
you. That's the best I can do. Come on, climb up.
Poor little Hugo.
Mommy says I shouldn't leave the house, you know.
I know.
That must be why I feel all funny.
You're just tired.
I miss her.
At least you were allowed to see her.
Huh?
Nothing.
Did you hear what she said? I thought that was sad. Hugo was saying that Mommy said he shouldn't leave the house. And then Amicia said, at least you got to see her. So, poor Amicia, I think the mom was so
Laurentius's mill.
focused on...
We're nearly there.
Will he shut
The
me
mom was so
inside
focused
again?
on trying to take care of
Like
Hugo
Mommy.
that Amicia
He'll
was
get us to
neglected.
safety.
All right. It's true. It's dangerous out here. But sometimes it's fun too.
You'll get better one day.
Are those dead animals?
What on earth happened here? We're going to have to be careful now. You better get down, Hugo.
It took me a few minutes to see the dead animals, actually. This
It's getting in my shoes.
Yeah, this disgusting mud.
I don't believe it.
I got through here pretty well, actually, considering it. I thought this is an area that I would die. I got through here pretty well, actually.
We need fire!
We have to get out of here.
Amicia, there's some fire up there!
The torch! Quickly! Hurry! Come on! Faster! Climb up.
And then right here, I'm like, get over the wall, get over the wall, get over the wall.
It's close. That mud again. We'll never get through.
Look at all the dead pigs. How many pigs did this guy own?
Lord.
Oh, that's so
Are they
disgusting.
ready?
Look at them all. How
All
many
dead.
pigs? And this guy owns what? 800
They've been
pigs? Would
slaughtered
anybody have owned
by the
800
Inquisition,
pigs back
probably.
then? I mean,
I'm
really?
going to be sick.
Yeah, I would be sick too. I would be getting sick at that point, honestly. Especially since you have to slog through. You have to slog through the, whatever slushy mess that is their innards. And look at them all! It's gross. It's really gross. Okay, that was a clip. Because in full disclosure, again, I left the room and left the game running. She and Hugo sat by this fire for about an hour. I think I went and ate dinner or something. Oh God, can you imagine the stench? Holy cannoli, the stench. The stench would be absolutely horrifying. Well, I just don't understand the number of pigs. I mean, but this is not an age of mass production. Would anybody have hundreds and hundreds of pigs? Really? I mean, look at them all. It is gross, though. Thank God the game provides you with, obviously, hints like this cart right here, because I would never have figured this out otherwise. I would have run up to the wall, my little stick would have gone out, and I would have been killed. Again.
Let's push this.
Right.
Little Hugo.
Come on. Nearly there.
Amicia, why did they kill the pigs?
Look at them all! I
you
cannot
can
get
tell the
over the
rats
number
here.
of pigs! I find this unrealistic. I don't think anybody would own... One farm would not own 800 pigs. It would beggar you just trying to feed them.
Talk. Push.
Maybe. That's a hell of a lot of farms, though. I mean,
We
how
did
many
it.
pigs would one family need? One small family
made
farm
it.
might have, what, 3 or 4 pigs?
Hello,
It's a nitpick. I acknowledge
Hugo,
it's a nitpick. I
What
just
if
was
it's
struck
not
at how
Laurentius?
many pigs there
Did
were.
you think of that?
And there's a live
Sorry.
horse that has not been destroyed yet. Thank gosh. Hello, horsey.
You're still alive.
Hello
I'm
there.
sorry about your friends.
Not a night to stay
I'm
outside.
sorry about your friends. Yeah, that poor horse is shackled to that cart. Can't run away, can't defend itself. And one last live pig. These places are all in
It's
total
locked.
disrepair, which you would think that, I mean, they would spend some time actually repairing, wouldn't they? Would they not?
Hugo, you go in there and open the door for me quickly. And be very careful, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
There's lavender hanging from the ceiling, among other
It
things.
smells funny.
It's alcohol from the stills.
I don't know why I did not stop at that workbench. I don't know why I
Someone's
skipped
there.
that workbench.
Let's go and see.
And I saw those hams hanging there, and I'm like, there's going to be problems in this room. Or else those hams would not be there.
Who are you?
Magister Laurentius!
Stop right there. He's contagious.
Hugo. Here.
The Inquisition came. We lost everything. There was nothing I could do.
Of course. They came for him.
Poor little Hugo has no
evil.
clue what he's done wrong.
Ancient evil courses through
Boy,
your
would I like a
family's
bed
veins.
cap like that.
In its
So
blood.
sexy.
Your mother and I attempted to slow its progress. But ever since the Great Break, the process has quickened. You must protect him, Amicia.
Must protect him, Amicia.
Continue your mother's work.
Me? But how? My parents tried and now they are both dead. Leave me alone!
They're here.
Here's a question.
The rats are dangerous, but disorganized. The Inquisition, however, they seek the boy tirelessly. We have to disappear. Head to the Chateau d'Ombrage. Lucas, go to the barn. You will finish the ignifer.
Don't try to talk. I will prove myself. I'm sorry about your parents, but you're not alone anymore. We have to move fast. You can help me make the ignifer. It will protect us from the rats.
Come, Hugo. I don't want you to stay here.
Poor Hugo.
The stuff is in the barn. Come on. Oh no.
What are we going to do?
They've managed to get in.
Find a way to keep them busy.
Oh, the hands. Good idea.
Ah, but they're frightened of the light.
The lantern. It's all right. Do it. There. Sorry. There. Don't worry.
That's it. Hugo, give me your hand.
No.
No.
Very well, but stay close to me.
Are you two okay?
It's been a long trip.
I think the answer's... I'm going to confirm before I...
Those bags look heavy. Rotten grain. Must be to feed the pig.
Oh no. They've come back.
They're everywhere.
We have to reach the back of the barn. We can't leave without the ignifer. How are we going to do it?
I think it was signed by King John the what? King John... I don't remember.
We need meat. Dead or alive.
We can
Use
use
my
this.
brain.
I see.
Okay. I
Let me
remember
help
this.
Are we going to feed him?
Are we going to
Could
feed
say
the
that.
pig? Pigs.
Yes, dinner time, Piggy. Yum yum.
Toad says, are we going to feed the pig or
That's
roast it?
Make sure you're too bubbly.
I bet you can
or
guess
you'll
what's
get
going to happen to the
stomachache.
pig now.
We have to make sure it stays.
I'll close the door.
Can I just tell you, this upset me. I did not want to do this to the pig. I get it. I understand that's a solution. I didn't want to do this to the pig.
There's a ladder down the side. Come on.
Let's go. Hugo,
I understand that sometimes you have to make
listen.
really shitty
you can
decisions,
sulk if you like, but
I
stay
did not.
close.
I did not want to do this to the pig.
Climb up.
Yeah, same with me, Crystal. Or children, but video
The
games don't
lights.
usually venture into
Yes.
that territory where
Hugo,
children get, bad
look
things
away,
happen to
please.
children.
Why?
I know. I was like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to shoot the lanterns out. I just didn't want to do this. I don't like this scene at all. I mean, it's an impactful scene. I'll give you that. It's impactful, but I didn't like it. Poor thing.
No, Amicia, what are you doing?
These are the tough decisions you have to make, but I really didn't want to do this.
We have no choice, Hugo. We have to get the rats away.
I know.
Horrible! You're just like all the others.
Hugo,
It is worse
There
than when
was
you hear
no
the
other
sounds.
way.
Years and years and years ago, I was in, actually I was in Tonga of all places, but this was 40
go
years ago,
first. Yes,
35
of
years
course.
ago, and there weren't a lot of tourists there. There probably still aren't. But
Come on,
I
over
was
here.
staying in this little, well, it was, I guess you'd call it a hotel, but they slaughtered a pig that morning to serve for dinner that night
A pig.
to the locals and they called the boat boys, which I won't go into
Watch your
explain. But
step.
this is
I worked
more
for a
than
boat
just a
charter
doctor's
company
lab.
back then. Anyways,
mom's
I'm not going to
been
go into that
in
part of it,
above
but
a
in the
great
morning I
old
heard them. I heard
Your
them
name is
slaughter the
Amicia.
pig,
I'm
and
Lucas.
I could not
I
eat
would
the
like
pig
to
that
show you
night.
something, but it
I could hear it
requires
making
alcohol and
noises, then I
sulfur.
could hear it screaming,
There
and
must
then
be
it
some
abruptly
around
stopped
here.
screaming, and I could not.
Tell me when you
I could
found
not
them.
eat it that night.
All right. Alcohol and sulfur.
It was probably good, but I couldn't eat
What
it.
are you doing?
An alchemical blend. I'm dissolving the reagents.
Oh,
Froze for a
Levitate,
second.
It's
extract
alchemy.
sick.
Lucas, why am I
Latin.
not ill like Laurentius?
He was bitten by a rat. You were.
This oven.
Is he going to die?
It must be what they call an
I'll do
athanol.
everything to make sure that doesn't happen.
Demons.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not a vegetarian because I'm a complete hypocrite, but I have never eaten veal. And this is you're going to realize what a hypocrite
Alcohol,
I am when I tell you this,
sulfur,
but I
that's
have never
everything.
eaten veal because when I was a child, I saw a documentary on how veal
Here
is
you go,
produced,
Lucas.
Right.
and I thought it was
Now
so
you have to mix
cruel
them.
the way they keep these.
Do it slowly. It's not dangerous.
I just thought it was the way
All
they
right.
raise them. They only live for 5 or 6, 7, 8 weeks, but they're kept in these tiny little pens. They have no quality, at least the documentary I saw. And I felt so bad about how these baby cows are
So,
treated that I
this is it?
have literally never tasted veal in my whole life.
Oh, no.
And yet,
No, we're stuck.
I
Not yet.
adore and
Thank you,
will eat
Alicia.
lamb
It's time.
because
Aim
I
for
was
the embers.
raised eating
Into
lamb
the
because my
room.
mother was from New Zealand,
All
so
right.
we had lamb at least once a week when I was a child. And I like to tell myself that the lambs are grass-fed and they have a happy life for 6 weeks, and I just don't think about it.
It makes
So I
fire.
realize I'm a
Did
hypocrite.
I do that?
get it.
Did I really
But there
just
you
do
have it.
alchemy?
Yes. Your mixture
Andy,
is
a friend of
perfect.
mine was in the Peace
Like
Corps
mother, like
in
daughter.
Gambia. She told me about having
Do you
to
know
slaughter a
what?
goat to make dinner for everyone when
I'll
their
show you how
parents
to
visited.
create
They
other
wouldn't eat it.
projectiles.
I can
It will be
understand that.
really useful.
I'd love
I'm
to.
also not
Thank you.
I finished my
opposed to
mixes.
hunting.
We have to go back to Laurentius.
Because the people that I
Amicia,
know that do
you
it
should go
use
ahead.
everything they take, and they only take enough to feed for their family for the season. And that's the way things are meant to be, I think. But I don't like hunting just for the enjoyment of killing animals. I don't really, or trophy hunting, I don't really understand or comprehend trophy hunting.
Rats, get back.
Throw it on the embers.
Now this little ignifer thing you
don't
get a
blow up
hold
in my
of,
face.
pretty handy, pretty handy.
You go first.
I'm the same as you, Crystal. I like meat on a little styrofoam tray from the grocery store where I can't tell what it was or where it came from, which I realize is hypocritical. I fully comprehend how
There's
hypocritical
a lot
it
of them.
is.
I'll clear away.
Yeah, I agree, Totes. I eat much less meat nowadays than I used to, although that's primarily
me.
for health reasons. But I just like barbecue. I like smoked meats. I'm a hypocrite. I like
Come
that
on.
stuff. And since I don't have to kill the animal myself,
Leave me
I
alone.
like to think that
Hugo,
they are
listen.
ethically
About
treated and that the
earlier,
slaughtering is ethical.
I just wanted to tell you that I'm...
No, Amicia! The rat!
The house has gone dark.
No, no! Master!
Lucas, wait!
It's sitting down!
That is a conflagration. that's exactly right, Mystic. They're bred for that. I get it.
Now!
I have friends who do they do a cow every year.
We need you!
I have another friend who raises goats, and she slaughters the males every year.
Time to go! Hugo! Lucas!
And she eats them, which I have to admit,
We need that
I'm not a fan
horse.
of goat meat.
Lucas! I'm here! Where does this trail lead to? Lucas! Where's this taking us? To the river! Which
Did the
way?
horse get
Where
away?
now?
I like to tell myself, I don't see the horse. I like to think the horse got
Past
away.
the mill. So
The
let's
car
go.
fell over, caught fire, the horse ran away.
Mama, it's almost on fire.
Good shot, Amicia.
Lucas, this way!
Run! Run, Lucas, run! Amicia, run! Hugo, don't trip! Look at that! Isn't that a well done scene right there? Look at that. You can just tell what that boy is thinking. That's it. That's my playthrough for today. What did you think? I am enjoying this game. I can take this off now. What'd you guys think? We're still talking about meat. Oh my gosh. Crystal suggested that I play this game repeatedly, and I didn't want to play it. I mean, I didn't not want to play it, but I just was, I don't know. I was lazy about doing it, but it's so good. I'm going to play it again later today. I am enjoying it. It is good. It's gross, but it's good for sure. So on Thursday, I was thinking, well, it's going to have to be Madison, Mortuary Assistant, one of the gross games. And we have to do a playthrough. We have to do a group play of Dead by Daylight this month, which I think would be super fun with a group of people. If we can get like 10 of us, I think that'd be really fun. Although I do need to check how many people can play Dead by Daylight in one round. I'm really not sure. But I'm thinking Mortuary Assistant or Madison this Thursday. What is your question, Mystic? I'm all ears. I hope you're typing. 5 can play in one round, 4 survivors, 1 killer. I definitely think we need to do that this week. My hair is a mess now. We definitely need to do that this week. Or no, not this week, this month, excuse me. Oh, is the tent? Oh, that should be pretty interesting to play then, because I have a tendency to do a lot of yelling and laughing during high tension moments. Will I be doing anything for Mass Effect on N7 Day? I haven't even thought about November yet because I'm not a very good aheader, but I think that would be a good idea. What do you think I should do for N7 Day, Beth? What do you think I should do? I obviously can't make an entire game through on one playthrough on one day, but no, I think it'd be really fun to do something for N7 Day. For sure. Oh, the answer to the poll. Yeah, well, you guys were correct. It was bitten by a flea. I thought maybe you could get it too from eating infected animals if they weren't cooked properly, but I think it's most primarily being bit by a flea. Rocco, bye. A compilation of some of my favorite clips or your favorite clips. I don't know. Do I have enough of a history to do favorite clips? I feel a bit pretentious trying to put together a favorite clips thing. I mean, I'm happy to do it, but I feel a little pretentious doing that. Yeah, let me think about that a little bit, Beth, but I'll come up with something for N7 Day. That would be fun, for sure. And then this, I think that would be interesting, but let me just be completely honest with you and tell you that I doubt I could even get them to reply to me. I'm such a tiny streamer. I would be shocked if I could get either one of them to speak to me. Possibly Jennifer Hale. And the only reason I think possibly Jennifer Hale over time is because we're about the same age. I mean, she's younger than me. I think she's 53 or 54, but I think I might have a better luck with her because I'm a female. I'm a middle-aged female, and so is she. I might have be able to get her to answer me, but I know people like, for instance, Ploppy from Ploppy 54. He has been trying to get a hold of her, and he's never even managed to make contact with her. But that would be super interesting. Somebody from one of the series would be really interesting. I mean, I should give it a try for sure. It might almost be too late. I mean, that's 4 weeks out. That might be too late to get arrange something like that. But yeah, it's a good idea for sure. I think Jennifer Hale, I think she lives in mid-California somewhere too. Hi, Julia. I think an interview with Jennifer Hale would be super interesting because, like I said, we're contemporaries in terms of our age and whatnot. But I have considered reaching out to her, but I thought I might wait till I grew my channel to a size that she might look at it and go, okay, that's worth 20 minutes of my time. Whereas right now, I mean, if I'm being realistic, I'm about the smallest channel possible. So I don't know, but it would be interesting. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to reach out, would it? Maybe she'd feel sorry for me and cut me a break because I am a middle-aged woman trying to get into doing gaming stuff, and maybe she would say, I'm going to help her get a leg up. You never know. Anyway, I would love input. Oh, thanks, Totes. I would love input for what I should do on Thursday. I'm not by nature a scary game player. But I think it could be fun simply because I know I'll be reactive to a game like that. I haven't seriously considered Twitch, Julia. I have a Twitch channel. If you go to my Twitch channel, it's the same name. It's all set up. It looks nice, but I've never streamed on Twitch because I just think I'm just not sure I see the profit in someone like me streaming on Twitch because I think getting your foot in the door in Twitch is so hard because it's so big. She doesn't look at how do you know that? Maybe it's worth reaching out to her. I don't know. We'll see. That would be a great surprise, wouldn't it? Anyway, I had a good time today. I need to decide what I'm going to do for Thursday, and then I'll give some serious thought to the N7 thing. That's exactly right, Twitch. It's changed how they interact with content, and many are thinking of leaving it now. I think YouTube is an up-and-coming platform for creators, and I think over the long term, YouTube is going to be a good place to be. If I went to Twitch now, even if I started multi-streaming or not necessarily multi-streaming concurrently, but streaming on Twitch on its own day and here on its own day, I just think the level of time it would take for me to get my foot in the door at Twitch is so great. I'm just not sure. And I'm not ever going to be a gamer who streams for 7 and 8 hours at a time. No. I mean, I would do that as a rarity for a charity thing, or if I was really having fun or it was a really good game that really needed a block of time that big, maybe I would do it then, but I'm never going to be one of those people that, like the big content creators who sit online for 7, 8 hours a day. I have a life and I like my privacy. So anyway, but the Jennifer Hale suggestion is good. If I could get her to even acknowledge I existed, that would be amazing and pretty interesting. At any rate, that's about it for today. If you're in my Discord, I think there's Discord invitation in the description of this video, and I'm pretty sure the link is good. I reactivated it, and I'm pretty sure that link down there is good. But I'm MotherMantiss on Discord. If you have a suggestion for what game I should pick up for October that's a scary game, I'm thinking it's going to be basically between Madison and Mortuary System. But I'll start doing that on Thursday, and I'll do it live because I think that'd be more fun because your reactions are more real live. Yeah, I don't see how people can stream all day either. I don't want to. I have other interests, you know, that I want to pursue, and I just don't want to sit my ass in this chair for 7 hours a day doing this. I mean, I sit my ass in this chair enough playing video games. And streaming, actually, as enjoyable as streaming can be, there's a social aspect to streaming that like if I'm playing a game on stream, it is not the same as playing a game by myself. There's a performative aspect to it that makes it not, it's not relaxing. I relax and have a good time if I'm just playing online with some girlfriends or I'm playing a game with a friend or by myself. But streaming a game and trying to think about the fact that you're streaming and what you say and make sure you want to work certain dialogue into your stream, yada, 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 that's not particularly relaxing. I wouldn't call it, you know, a recreational activity anyway, at least not for me. That's what I found to be true for me. I like streaming, but I also consider it to be kind of a job that I do because I've committed to do it a couple times a week. I wouldn't call it the most, in terms of playing games, it's not the most enjoyable way to play games, that's for sure. Plus, like I said, when you're streaming, you miss a lot of stuff in these games. When I look back on the games that I've played while I was streaming, I see all kinds of details and decisions I made that I probably would have made differently if I was playing without the added sort of a bubble of a camera and the stupid light in my face and whatnot. I would be able to think more about my next moves and whatnot. It changes the game playing experience, let's put it that way. Anyway, I had a good time today. Give me your suggestions for Thursday if you want to see Mortuary System or Madison. I think they're both relatively short games, 6-ish hours, so I could do it over a few streams. And I look forward to doing it. Yeah, Andy, my daughter films herself. My daughter paints, and she has a top-down camera, and she does mostly stuff on Instagram, but she films herself top-down, her process, and then she turns it into a clip where she speeds it up, but you see her whole process. That's interesting. Sometimes she does digital art, but I think her type of art lends itself better to that sort of a clip you can put together. It would be hard to watch somebody actually streaming doing art because art takes a long time. I mean, my daughter's paintings, they're not done in the 40-second, you know, it can be a 7, 8, 9, 10, 15-hour process, and then she compiles it down into an interesting video. But you have to have a process that you can do that with. Anyway, thanks for coming. I'll see you later. I'll decide what I'm going to do on Thursday, and I'll let you guys know. And I hope you guys have an excellent afternoon. It was so great to see you, and thanks for spending an hour and a half with me. Bye, you guys.